Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to talk about pandemic, from panic to plan. And you may ask yourself, well, Dr. Thielen, what are your qualifications? And I'll tell you that for 26 years, give or take, I've been diagnosed with certified panic disorder. So what you're feeling right now, the dread, the horror, the overwhelming terror, is what I live with in my brain every single damn day. So I have learned techniques in order to tamp that down, along with medication, which helps greatly. What I'm going to give you are coping techniques and things to help you survive. I also have a lot of hobbies in addition to a lot of degrees that I'm not using. And one of them was search and rescue, in which I learned survivalist techniques. And I'll be more than happy to give anybody any techniques that I know about, and I will share those in upcoming videos. First things first, I don't want to talk about politics at all at this point. I think that pointing fingers is a useless endeavor at this point. So we're going to talk about how best to stay safe, how best to plan and get the panic down, and how to be kind people in this time, because this shows what kind of a person you really are, is how you behave right now. I'm going to go through bullet points. First things, face masks. They do help you to wear a face mask. But here's the rub. The doctors and the people in the medical professions need the face masks more than you need them right now. Okay, so that's one reason why they're kind of being like, do face masks really work? Hell yes, they work, okay? They work. However, here's the caveat. Let the professionals have them first. If you have them at home, wear them. You're not going to be taking them up to the hospital and dropping them off. There's too much contagion risk there, okay? You got the face masks and you have to go to the hospital, wear your effing face mask. That's number one. Number two, wearing the face mask does not mean that you can then go and do whatever you want willy-nilly with your hands. I think that some people think that wearing one thing, it's all of a sudden some kind of a protective talisman that they don't have to mind their other things they're doing. No. But also, I've noticed I actually wear face masks a lot when I go out because of what I currently do, okay? I go to a place as a hobby that has a lot of germs, okay? And so I wear a face mask as do other people. And it does help. It also helps you from noticing how much you touch your face, because people do naturally touch their faces quite a bit. They rub their eyes, they put their fingers in their mouths. And when you have something obstructive on your face, you notice how much you touch your face and you stop doing it. That's what I have to say on face masks. Don't run out and try to buy them if they're running in short supply around you, but if you have them, wear them if you have to go outside. Second point, let's be smart, folks. Don't let the panic overwhelm you to the point that you lose your rational capabilities. You know what? We live in a modern society that has made it so that we don't have to think too much. We need to toss all those old thoughts right out the darn window. If you need to make a face mask, you can make it. You're in a house right now. You can use your wife's bra. Pick an old one. Ask her which one she hates the most and make a darn face mask. You've got a bra, you got two masks, and then you use the straps to put around your ears, and you just sew. You think you don't have sew? Most people have a little tiny sewing kit that they get in almost any place they've stayed, okay? So trust me, most of you have a needle, thread. Hey, you know what? You guys, you love your duct tape. Do what you gotta do. You can make your own face masks if you need to go outside. And who cares about fashion? All right, the resourceful will survive, okay? God willing, and you watching out for yourself, the resourceful will survive. Do not stop thinking about what you can use. Second bullet point, toilet paper is completely unnecessary. So if you're stressing about TP, just wipe that right out of your mind. If you have an old rag, an old t-shirt, cut it into pieces, wet it, all right? And use that okay? And rinse it out. Wash rag. It's a thing. We didn't always have toilet paper, folks, and we survived as a species and we thrived as a species. If you are prissy and you have to have something, use an old coffee filter. Use a coffee filter. Use old newspaper. Use the junk mail. Mind you, I personally am not going out to the mailbox every day, and if I do, I'm spraying the mail down as I'm holding it with a glove. I'm not touching anything coming in or out. But if you've got old newspaper, you got an old book you don't like, hell, if you even like one of my books and you can say I used your book as a toilet paper, rock on. You're going to have hundreds of pages, hundreds of days worth of wiping. What you want to do with any of this makeshift TP is not flush it down the toilet. Let's not be like Australia where now they've got sewer. You've got sewers being broken because you're flushing non-TP down the toilet. Do not do that. Put a bag in your little trash. Most people have a little trash receptacle next to their toilet, right? That's where you're going to put the used stuff. If you use a wash rag, you're not even going to do that. You're just going to wipe your butt with the wet rag and you're going to rinse it out and then do your washing. You're going to wash it out. And if you're worried about using your precious high-end Egyptian cotton, then use a damn t-shirt. Trust me, people have been camping. If you've ever been camping, you're not bringing rolls of TP with you. I'm sorry, you're not. You're going out into the wilderness. You're digging yourself a hole. You're doing your business, and you're taking a leaf that is not poisonous, and you're wiping your bung, and you're putting all that down, and you're covering it up. Sorry, I'm seeing dust. It's actually a cat here. That is how you take care of your booty. You're going to be okay. All right, the water issue. Let's talk about the water. Let's say something happens, we have a storm, or let's say it gets so bad that the people aren't managing to staff the water treatment plants, or something goes terribly awry. You want to make sure you have potable water. Now, if you waited too late and you don't have the pills or the drops to make any kind of water drinkable, I'm guessing most of you don't have that. If you don't have that, and you're listening to me right now and you've got a tub, I'd fill it with water. Why? Because of what I just said. If the power goes out and you need to boil your water, it makes it a hell of a lot easier if you've got a whole entire tub's worth of water sitting there. If you have animals or kids that don't know better than to get in a filled tub, then put like a tarp or something over the tub. So there you go, a whole entire section of water. If you don't have that, think resourceful. You got to be resourceful. Think, what do I have that's plastic in the house that I can fill with water to use to wash my face, to wash my bunghole, to wash whatever. Think like a camper. Think like a survivalist. Think like, what can I use instead of throwing it away and clogging up the landfill in order to get me through this tough time? And you can do it, guys. Right now our water is fine. Right now, we can use our filtered water. Most Floridians, if you're drinking the regular water, you're filtering it. Use your filtered water. Fill up things around the house. If you have a big trash can, not the recycle kind that the county picks up, you have a big trash can, go ahead and fill it with water. Clean it really good first and fill it with water. All right? So let's get ahead of it. Next bullet point, drugs. This is a sticking point for me because I do rely on my prescriptions. I get them on 3 months because I've taken the same thing forever. I had called my doctor because my next appointment is in 7 days, and it was about 10 days ago that I called. And I inquired because I knew this was going to happen. And he said that they didn't do teleconferencing after I asked. And they said the best they could do is, if something was to get bad, which it now is to call in a 1 month's worth of a prescription. So yeah, I am going to be one of those people that will be having issues with their medications more than likely. Some of the medications I'm on will throw me into withdrawals if I do not get them. So that is an issue, and I have to think about what can I substitute for the drugs. So you have to think, like, can I take a Benadryl? Like, what can I take in lieu of panic? Like, it does happen even with the planning, but you just got to think, what can I use as a substitute? And again, I'm not Dr. Brock, but you know what you take and you know what you could use as a substitute, and try to think of that ahead of time. Here's another bullet point, social distancing. and this is a caveat, what I'm going to say is a generalization. Different countries have different comfort zones with their what they feel is a comfortable distance between people. The Japanese, for example, they will take 1 foot between each other or less and feel perfectly fine with it. Some of the, I believe, Spanish type folks, they're fine with being kind of clustered together. One thing that might work well for the Americans is we tend to have at least a 2 to 3 foot distance between people normally. That's our comfort zone. Statistically, if we don't know you, we typically don't feel that good if you've come between 3 feet within our comfort zone. Think of times that you're even doing checking out at the grocery store, or when you're using an ATM, or even just like standing there in a line. You usually, if someone's right by on your shoulder, it makes me extremely uncomfortable. A lot of Americans feel that way. And since we naturally distance each other 2 to 3 feet if we don't know somebody, this might work well in our favor because we tend to space ourselves out a little bit more than other countries. So maybe that'll work for us. Having said that, if you have to go out 3 to 6 feet, do not get close to someone if you don't have to do so. I've been watching this. I've been watching the statistics. To me, planning and looking at statistics and science will keep my panic down, should keep your panic down. I think that the forecasts, and I wrote these bullet points a couple days ago, and they're still on point or a little worse, but we're still behind Italy, probably about 7 days I do by my calculations. And so we will expect our numbers of infected folks here in the US to jump. That's what the data is indicating. All right. So please don't be that American, or anyone, if you're watching this and you're not in America, who doesn't pay attention to the national news, at least just for the statistics facts. You know, we had our heads in the sand as a country for so long. Let's stop ostriching on this. And the only other little mini rant I want to indulge in, because I'm not going to get political, but I'm purposely not in agreement with the UK's initial decision to do herd immunity. And when they're talking about that, they're talking about with any kind of disease or virus, there's a natural herd immunity that happens after it's passed around enough, and sometimes it then inoculates people. And UK was talking about at the time, and this is now they've kind of changed their idea on it, but I had it on here, of allowing essentially 60% of their population to get the virus to create this herd immunity. But, you know, it's fatal on the front end, and then it kind of, in a way, their thinking was to get it over with. Naturally, herd immunity is going to occur anyway, but to open wide the doors and to allow the 60% statistically to get infected, to me, it's just not a humanistic approach. I don't agree with that approach. But those people who decide that they're going to just go out and live their lives are kind of going to do it anyway. So you're going to have some kind of a herd immunity going on here in the US. So people panic because they feel out of control. And our lives, nothing is promised to us in our life. You can plan your whole entire life, and you can get cancer, or any make and manner of things can happen to you that are unexpected. And that is life. But when you do plan for things, it can help you feel a little more in control, and it's better if the planning isn't something silly. I do believe in thoughts and prayers, but to rely on thoughts and prayers and continue to do stupid crap is not going to work for you. So start thinking. Start looking around your house and saying, you know what, if I need this, what can I use as a substitute? Let's talk about caffeine. That's my only vice in life. I'm addicted to caffeine. That's my vice. And when I go off of it, I get like a really bad headache for at least a week, sometimes 2 weeks. So, I mean, a really bad headache. I don't like coffee, and I don't like tea, and I do drink sodas, and diet sodas at that, which I know they're really, really bad. Okay, guys, I know it. And I've tried to go off them many times, and here's what I have to say. Is there's a thing called a caffeine pill, and it works. So when I've been in another country and it's been difficult for me to get what I need for caffeine, the caffeine pill keeps me from getting a headache. You can obtain caffeine pills from most of your drugstores, like the CVS, the Walgreens. You can get them from your gas stations, and usually they're over near like the energy drinks or the pill area. So like where they have their goodies powders and stuff, you usually will find the caffeine pills. Not a lot of people know about it. And I think part of it is because our industry really wants to sell us these caffeinated drinks and the coffees and the Starbucks. And they don't want you to know that you can actually get caffeine from a pill. So if you feel like you're going to freak out without your coffee, caffeine pills are a good option. I've been looking at 2 different websites for statistics, stone cold hard statistics. Again, you have to rely on them updating the statistics, but one of them is the ESRI, E-S-R-I website. They have this ARC, GIS. I don't know how you say it. We've been getting the newsletter for years, and I wasn't sure which of my parents was getting it, because both of them, I guess in theory, would have a use for it, but we've always been getting it, and I was always so fascinated with it. And they're like coming through with good statistics and easy to navigate pictures of your state. And then when you click into it, you can see your county, and you click into it and it'll show you the statistics for the infected, the people waiting for the test, the age range of the person. Of course, you've got HIPAA, so they're not going to tell you who it is. But they'll give you general stats, so you'll kind of know how many people. You can even look and see how many people have tested negative and da-da-da-da. So that's good. There's another site, www.worldometers.info. I've been looking at that, and I'll put both these sites someplace in here. And just because there's no confirmed cases in your area, when we're not testing, or testing only in really low cases, is absurd to rely on the fact there's not a case in your area. Yeah, just protect yourself, because people rely on the federal government to protect them. Then they rely on the state to protect them. Then they rely on their local government to protect them. Then when they rely on their church and their charities to protect them. At this point in your life, you need to protect yourself. And you need to think of ways to survive and to get through this, and to be a kind human being at the same time. You need to balance these things, not be greedy. Also, be careful when you're driving, because the only time I went out, and I literally went someplace and didn't have to see anybody and got right back in the car, I think that everybody on the road had a pregnant wife in the car that was at 7 centimeters crowning, because that's how people were driving. They were blowing red lights, running people off the road, cutting people off. I've never seen the like of it, even in a hurricane. So if you don't have to drive around, don't do it, because people are driving like it's end times or something. So, all right. And the next videos I plan on doing are going to be more survivalist things around the house you never thought you could use, like how to start fire really easy without matches. So, stay tuned. If you like these videos, please push the like button and subscribe. It's free. You'll just get a little notification that I've uploaded a video. So, without further ado, let's plan, let's keep calm, but be smart. And I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.